Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Home Service Heartbeat Podcast, and I'm Joe Crisara. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Matthew DeFeo of American Mains and Drains, who has a philosophy and mission to deliver outstanding plumbing care at fair prices for the Puyallup, Washington community and the surrounding areas. Matt, thanks for being on a show today here. I really appreciate you. We're thrilled to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate you reaching out, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Why don't you start by telling us how you got started in the service industry and that led you to your leadership role here at American Mains and Drains?
So years ago, I used to work at a car dealership back in New York, and I worked there for about a year. I ran into this gentleman who was the sales manager there, and he's like, Matt, you're a good guy. You got a lot going for you, and you're such a young kid. Are you sure this is like something that you want to do? Maybe we can move you into, sales or something, but they separate two different parts of the building. And so when I when I sat down with him and he was talking to me about this, my career coming, he said, Matt, you got to have a plan. You got to have a goal, right? A goal without a plan, it's just a dream. And I carry that with me every single day since that day. And I might as well put a tattoo of it on my arm because I really do live by that. And that's pretty much what's got me here today is that, eventually I quit that spot. Actually, matter of fact, I got fired. It was a funny story,
Mhm.
but I got fired from there. And one of the mechanics that worked there, his brother and his father owned a plumbing business. And I said, "Hey man, is your dad hiring?" And he's like, "Man, you're not gonna make it over there with my brother." I was like, I like a good challenge. So I went over, I walked right in the office. It was right around Christmas. And I think it was like just the 23rd or something. And so I walked right upstairs into their office at John Hobby Jr. Plumbing and Heating. And I said, "Hey, I want to, I was like, I just got fired at the Airway." And he's like, "So what do you want to do?" And I need a job. And he's like, "Okay, well, you want to start tomorrow?" And I was like, "Sure." So I worked, Christmas Eve until like 8:30 at night. And I knew it was going to be tough. We were out there in the cold putting a gas line together, for no reason. And we got it done. Went back there, I guess the next week, and that's when I knew I was like, man, these guys, these guys are tough, and this trade is tough. But I like a good challenge. I like to challenge myself and learn. And so I got into plumbing probably 2020. I mean, 2011, 2012, and I've stuck with it ever since.
What made you decide to start American Mains and Drains?
Well, I think most entrepreneurs probably have a very similar start, right? It's maybe they worked for somebody and they didn't get along with them, or maybe they got a bad paycheck, or maybe there was something going on at home and they just needed to make a change. Something like that happened in my life. I worked for an employer, it didn't work out, and I said, "The hell with this, I'm going to start my own thing." And I always dreamed of having my own company because my father, owned a general contracting business. He built Martha Stewart's house and like this Berkeley insurance guy and huge like custom built homes, millions of dollars worth of work. And I always dreamed of wanting to have that same, I wanted to follow in in his footsteps. And, when the opportunity arose, that's when I started my own business.
Well, we feature here on the Home Service Heartbeat businesses that have heart and serve their community with heart, Matt. And you definitely qualify for that. What are some of the challenges you'd like your clients to know? It probably looks easy from the outside to a client, but what are some of the challenges that you face as you're growing this enterprise?
Hmm. It's a tough question. There's a lot of answers to that, right? Because there's a lot of aspects of business. Um, the biggest challenges I think that most of us are facing, including myself, hiring. Hiring is tough. Finding the right people today is like got to be the one of the biggest challenges. You have a lot of young folks that are really just in their phones. I mean, you can't get them off. It's like an addiction problem. And I remember when I first started, I left, first off, phones are definitely not what they were, 10, 15 years ago. So you can really get lost in like an iPhone today or Samsung or whatever. The young guys that I hire, we do have policies that we put in place. So it's you're meant to keep it in the truck, and that's kind of like where it goes, until break time or until the end of the day.
Mhm.
That's kind of how we solve that problem. The technician out there, they can have their phones because they're doing the sale on their phone, or their iPad. So they have no option. But they're also, I think the hardest part is definitely hiring. Other parts of the business would be um, payroll. That's actually a big challenge. There's really no structure for that. It's just what structure works for your structure of your business. So, what is the vision of your business? So that's kind of my two biggest things that I'm actually working on right now. Otherwise, we're getting pretty dialed in.
Yeah, when it comes to finding the right client too, what do you think of that? That's a pretty big challenge. So, what is the type of client that works best with American mains and drains? What's the best, if you said I had my ideal client avatar, what would that look like, Matt?
Well, it's called mains and drains. We do everything from the water main to the drain. We service Puyallup, about 25-mile radius, and we're looking for homeowners that are looking to repipe their homes. If they have CPVC, it's a very brittle plumbing material. It snaps like pretzel sticks. It
Mm.
really does. So we want to prevent that by giving you a good solution with maybe PEX or some rigid copper, right? And so that's kind of been our niche right now. Along with that is water mains, something that we do all the time, and then, of course, drain line cleaning and drain line replacement. We're looking for homeowners, though, that want to invest in their home and find protection for years to come.
Yeah, so people were looking for a long-term solution. You guys look like you have a quality solution. Now, you did say you believe in hiring inside the community, and you yourself came from a training philosophy. You weren't a pro plumber or a seasoned plumber. Is the philosophy then to find people to train, and how important is training in the people you get? Is that your philosophy, or you find old seasoned plumbers, or you get more? People you can have an open mind. Tell us about that.
I would like to have at least, one seasoned plumber. But other than that, I'd like to have a younger generation of plumbers too that, fit around our culture here. Um, I mean, I accept all people in this business, and it's lovely to see all the people that do want to work here, the people that I hire. Um, it's great to have diversity, and it makes things fun. Um, you bounce different ideas off of each other. It's I think like what's important about you know, finding the right people though is that they do fit our culture, and that's what we want the most. We want more of like a reflection of myself when we go into customers' houses, someone that's, clean shaved, someone that looks like they're ready to work. They got maybe their shirt tucked in, they got their black pleated pants and their black boots on. Um, but we're not going in there as a salesman. We don't want to be intimidating in any way. We're not doing any kind of high pressure sales. Everything is, you know, we get there, we see the customer in their current state, and we try and meet them at their future state, and we just try and close the gap. So
That's a great
it's
way.
all about finding.
How important is the quality of the work you perform in the when you're doing things like main piping for the house and things like that, and even just the main drains? It's a big burden to the fluids coming in and out of a building. How important is the quality of the work and the reliability of the solution you guys provide? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I mean, we offer a standard 1 year contractor warranty. You can extend that with just a service plan that we can sign you up on, and that's to extend your warranty of the plumbing services provided. Along with that is when we are doing repipes, we do have, we do like, we do pick the right helper to go on that job, the right technician that was assigned or the one that sold that job. We want to make sure that they are, qualified for that work. Obviously, if they're being trained and they're a young green grasshopper, we want them to also, be in tune with how the job and the motion and the production of that job should go because we don't want to take all week to finish a two bathroom repipe. That's a long period. So we want to be in and out probably within a couple of days or less. Realistically, 1 day for a repipe is ideal.
So it sounds like the strategy of putting all the resources toward the current customer you have and making them number one and finishing the job is a strategy that you've employed here. When did you first know that strategy was going to be one that worked for you best?
As soon as you start hiring like the right people that are selling these repipes, I think like once you start finding the right guys, you can kind of see who stands out, who's efficient, you know. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. But
That's okay. How do you balance the efficiency of the work with the ability to connect with people? You got the people of uh, Puyallup and all the
yeah,
surrounding communities, and they're trying to get to know you, and yet you got to get the work done too, right? So how do you balance the efficiency with the need to connect with the people in the community? How do you balance that, Matt?
hmm. Well, we have a CSR. Her name is Cecilia. She does a wonderful job answering the phones and scheduling and dispatching and answering emails. So we are set up with her taking care of the customers. We talk every single day. She mostly works from home right now until this office is complete. But it's important that we have like these SOPs in place so that we know what to do at the beginning of the day. Like I don't even have to call her until like, you know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Like I know what she has a like a schedule of everything that we need to do to take care of the customers.
Mhm.
So,
Hey, so Matt, what do you think? You're a young entrepreneur, just getting this thing off the ground. So, what do you see some of the future trends of the plumbing and drain and the water piping business? What are some future trends that you see emerging that you think consumers of Puyallup should know about? What do you think that it would be good for them to know right now about some of the trends that are happening?
yeah, it's a awesome question actually because one thing that we're really proud of are our core values, and I'll get to this question. So, first off, our core values are professional, reliable, ownership, understanding, and dedicated. But this year, we are implementing transparency and integrity, and we really are pushing those two very much so. And the public should really know about the transparency part. I'm not afraid to share my prices online. Matter of fact, I'm actually going through a process right now where we will be setting up our prices through different, ranges. Now, not everything is exactly the same as the other house, but what I can definitely say based on averages is that there's a range from high to low. And, for the first option, middle option. So if we did good, better, best, the customer should be looking online for companies that are offering these price ranges because having a set price for a water heater, well, they don't know what's coming after that. You might say, oh, yeah, it says, Matt, you offer a water heater for 1999, but when you got here, you charged us another, $1,200.
Hmm.
And so that's not the fight I want to put up. I want to be transparent and show you, hey, there's a high and a low. I
Yeah,
could say
in a way, you're making
to
it
13.
easy to do business, right, Matt? That's kind of like,
Exactly.
let's make it easy to do business and let people say that they're going to find the truth eventually. You might as well just tell them before we get started, right, Matt?
100%. Yep. And I want to touch on one other thing is AI. I have used AI um, in our sales process with all the people that are working right now in the field, and I explain it to them as this is what we these are the steps that need to be said when you're going through the job, and then at the end of that is what the price ranges are going to be. These are your options, and we just copy and paste that, and guess what? We're in and out of our truck within minutes versus writing things up with a pen and paper or sitting there going through an entire price book and picking out each individual item. We don't need to do that now. AI is really helping our business out.
That's good. I'm glad to hear you're using the cutting edge technology to serve the community in the best way possible. Matt, let me ask you a question though. What keeps you motivated? And tell me about some of the victories or some of the high points that keep you moving every day to say, I can't wait to wake up and get out there and help people. Tell me what are some of the moments that keep you motivated to get up every day and serve the community?
Um, Gosh, I mean, I like to start off with my family. Definitely, definitely my biggest motivation. I just had my firstborn child, and he's only 2 years old, and that is definitely motivating just to get up to in the morning and go wake him up. That's definitely my highlight, at least my personal.
Mhm.
From there, I'd say my team, being able to call them first thing in the morning and shoot them a good morning text that brightens up their day, changes that mindset of whatever might be going on in their life to something that's bright and beautiful. I like seeing, I like lifting up the the spirits of my company, honestly, and I think that's what brings us, the 5 stars that we have is creating that good culture and hanging out with them, after work or sometimes before work in meetings. We just hang out in the morning or whatever. But I just surround myself by good people, and I think good things happen.
That's good. I mean, because really we spend so much more time at work than we do, even with that loving family we have, we wind up spending more time at work than we do with them, So it's important to get both
Yeah.
them. And then, how about the clients? Have you had any client stories that we can remember that were especially motivating or uplifting that you or inspiring to you that, yeah, I'm on the right track. This is exactly what I love to do for the people of this area.
Yeah, there's a lot of customers that I run into that I've seen where they have maybe similar lifestyles that I have, which is great because I root for those people too because they seem like they're on the same path. I've got a couple of great customers. One customer we worked for up in Seattle was a referral from one of our technicians actually, and we went up there and they had a bunch of issues with their sewer line. And matter of fact, like it was all cast iron and the whole thing was split in the bottom, and the sewage was just dumping down on their floor. And so we cut this whole stack out, and it was like downstairs in their basement where they did like laundry and all that. So we took some of this. They had like no utility sink or anything like that, and I was like, why don't we spend another couple hours here? Maybe I think we spent another 3.5 hours tops. I bought like a big like wood butcher block. I brought that in. I turned that into a laundry table, and then I got a utility sink and I brought that in there. We set that up, hooked up our water lines, ran our new drain line over. The customer was ecstatic, and things like that make the world, make us just keep going for like the next better thing too. It's like because we got so much excitement from that one customer. What if we do that for another customer? So actually, my dream, like right now, is to repipe someone's home at no cost, and then eventually be able to do that twice a year, and then maybe do that 3 to 5 times a year. And you know, you know who Tony Robbins is?
Oh yeah, totally.
Now he did something obviously on a little bit smaller scale. He did it with meals. It's hard to do, well, I couldn't repipe that many houses, I'm sure. He's done like a billion families or a billion meals. I think what we could do is at least maybe do one or, a couple of free plumbing jobs here and there. But that's something that I'm really striving for because I do want to show the community that we care.
There's people in the community that definitely have served the community. So as long it's only right that we return that service to them, right, Matt? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree.
So, Matt, what advice would you give your younger self now after being in this business? And there's the dream of the business and there's the reality of the business. What advice would you give your younger self if you could to go back and advise yourself about running this kind of a business?
Um, Wish I had more time. Yeah, wish I had more time. I probably would have studied a little harder in college. I probably would have finished college. And I don't know if I could go back and start it over. I probably would have done it sooner. I probably would have started in New York, actually. But, you know, I'm here in Washington. It's a beautiful day. So I'm happy where I'm at now.
You have a lovely office that's looking right over the shadows of the footprint of Mount Rainier in the
Yeah,
background. The
sure
beautiful.
do.
How important is that community to you, living in that community, Matt?
It's very important. I think a lot of people rely on us and enjoy like just my personality and what I bring, you know, to the table or smiles. So, you know, this community has been really wonderful to me and our business, and we've had nothing but nice things to hear from other people, and that's the proof is in the pudding.
Well, Matt, definitely you made me smile today, and you definitely uplifted me as well. So you can put me on that list of people that you made feel good.
Thanks a
So,
lot, Joe.
so where can listeners connect with you or learn more about working or partnering with you at American Mains and Drains?
Yeah, you can find us online on AmericanMainsandDrains.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You can look up AMD LLC. And right now, our Facebook ads, reels I'm really trying to get them out there. So, follow along.
Well, you know what, Matt, that's what caught our eye. We saw you there, and we realized, and I had met you before too. I did some training with you before, so definitely it's great to return to resume our relationship, and definitely it was another great conversation with you, Matt. I really
I
appreciate
agree.
you being on the show.
I agree. Thank you so much, Joe, for having me.
I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And all of you who are listening, thank you for sticking with us until the end. If you gained value from today's episode, we'd love to have you leave a rating or review wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you know someone in the service industry or anyone looking to scale their career or business, send this episode their way. And take away one key insight from today and put it into action and let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear about your progress. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us here. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Home Service Heartbeat Podcast.